So Module 1 will give us an introduction to the human body, and it will also give us an introduction to a number of terms that we're going to use throughout the semester and that you're going to continue to use in your health science program. So here we would define two fields of study, that is anatomy and physiology. And then we're going to describe how those two fields of study help us to understand what's going on in the body and understand how these two fields are interconnected. So first, anatomy is the study of structure and form, and it examines the names of the various body parts and how they are interconnected. So for example, we can examine how blood vessels, muscles, nerves, or bones are arranged and connected with one another. Anatomy can be further subdivided into gross or macroscopic anatomy and microscopic anatomy. Gross anatomy is the study of large body structures that are visible to the unaided eye. And so this includes body regions, whole organs, and whole organ systems. So on the other hand, microscopic anatomy is going to deal with structures that are too small to be studied with the unaided eye. And that includes the study of cells and tissues that compose our various organs. So physiology, on the other hand, focuses on the events that are occurring at the molecular and the cellular level, and that tells us how the body's parts work to support survival. So physiology draws upon principles of many of the natural sciences. So physiology is kind of the combination of biology, chemistry, and physics. So for example, the principle that determine how fluids flow through pipes, which is a physics concept, helps us to understand how blood flows through blood vessels, and we'll see that when we explore the cardiovascular system. Another example is how electrical and chemical signals cause muscle contractions that move the skeleton. So the question of how do muscles move bones is very much a physiology question. Another example of what physiology can help us understand is how the nervous system uses electrical and chemical signals, similar to what we see in the muscular system, so that one neuron can communicate with another neuron. So although we often study anatomy and physiology separately to make it easier for us when we're learning it, the two are really inseparable because function always reflects structure. And so we have a principle in physiology, or anatomy and physiology. It's called the principle of complementarity. And it is the principle that links anatomy and physiology together. And it states very simply that function follows form. So let's see a few examples of how this works. So for instance, bones can support and protect our body organs because they contain hardened minerals. Another example is how oils in the skin function to reduce water loss across the surface of the skin. Another study that we will often refer to in this class is pathology. Pathology is the study of how disease affects and alters the body's normal anatomy and physiology. We can examine pathology through two lenses. We can look at gross pathology, which studies how organs and organ systems are affected by disease, while microscopic pathology may examine how cells and tissues are altered by diseases. So for example, heart attacks, which are also called myocardial infarctions, or MIs, leave a very characteristic pathology on the muscle tissue of the heart. So by looking at the heart muscle tissue, we know that that heart may have been affected by an MI.